Hello, fearless educators. This is Christy Novak, and I'm here today to talk about all things GAF related or Google Apps for Education related. I wanted to start off today with simply the Chrome browser and the home page, because there are a couple of things on here that I think can be useful to understand and know about. So let's start in the upper right hand corner. You know you're logged in after you do your initial by seeing your web address up here, your email address. If I wanted to sign out, all I have to do is I can sign out here. If I have additional Chrome or Google accounts, which I do, I can add them here, sign out, and simply switch to that one that I want to use. Moving forward here, I have what is called a grid. It's a series of squares making up a larger square. And this is where I can access my Google Drive, which I consider the hub of inside my drive. However, these are all apps, and I can also directly just access my calendar or mail or whatever I'd like as well. Because images is so popular, if I click on images, it will give me a search box in order just to find pictures online. And obviously email is so important and used so often, it gets its own separate little icon. Going over here, I wanted to talk about the apps button. The apps button is on every Chrome browser, and if you click on it, this is where you can access your Chrome Web Store. The Chrome Web Store is where you can download apps and extensions, which we'll talk about in another screencast. By default, people automatically tend to get Google Docs and Gmail and Drive, the basics. But you can see a couple that you probably have not seen on yours, or you might not be familiar with, and these are ones that I have downloaded and added to my browser. And we'll talk again a little bit more about that in another screencast, but I wanted to show you how you could access and download. You would go to the web store and you would do a search in order to do that. Let's go back to the home page. Over here, I wanted to just point out that this is where your extensions live. Okay, so extensions are something that you also can choose and select and add to your Chrome browser, but they live over here. So you've got apps that live over here. You click on it, you'll see that page with your apps on it. Over here, they live in the upper kind of echelon area of your browser. Other things to point out is here, this is just things that I have previously looked at, other sites. If I want to get rid of them, I simply can just go over them and delete them. They will keep kind of adding more, but they are there. I don't really use these. You can't get rid of these without downloading an app to possibly have this removed. So this is kind of a forced feature. Finally, I wanted to also talk about up here. This is called the Omnibox, O-M-N-I-B-O-X, and this is a very unique feature. This is not something you can find on Firefox or Safari. So normally up here is where you would find web addresses like www.google.com, etc. And you would type it in, and then you would get your search results, or it would take you to the thing. Down here is normally where you would do your search and then get your results. However, with Google, you can simply do a search up here and it will give you some direct results. And there's a couple fun ones that you can do to access information super quickly. So for example, if I just type in timer, I can get a result. I will get an automatic online timer that I can use with my students in my class. For myself, I just used it this morning to time myself to make sure I didn't spend too long on any one thing. And at the end, you will hear an alarm go off. So that is very useful. Something else that you can do is, for example, I can go weather, and then I will put in, right, just weather plus a zip code. I can get my location, or whatever your location is. I can find out exactly where it is, and I'm accessed it right there. I will also get search results below, but this is a nice, easy way to efficiently find certain information. So this is also something that can be useful to point out to students as well. Finally, I wanted to also point out that in Google, you do have the feature to have voice-activated searches, which is something that you might be familiar with on your phone if you have an Android. phone that is, I guess. So that can be actually changed as a preference in your preferences. You go into your settings and you can just click that you want that on. By default, it is off. But that can also be a very useful feature to use with students that might have trouble typing or might have don't have the ability to type or to see necessarily the keyboard. The last other thing that I wanted to point out was, I think that was about it. So that was about the home page, and then the next one we'll be talking about is apps versus extensions. Stay tuned.